Hey, good morning. It's Patricia Murphy. It's Thursday. This is Seattle Now. It's a new day in the fight against the coronavirus. Washington fully reopened yesterday, although we're still just shy of our vaccination goal.
I think now is the right time. We need to save the economy, and we need to save our sanity.
In a minute, epidemiologist Judith Malmgren will give us some perspective on our new normal. But first, let's get you caught up. More deaths have been linked to this week's historic heat wave. The King County Medical Examiner's Office reported another 11 heat-related fatalities yesterday. That makes 13 deaths tied to record-high temperatures. Officials also reported 2 drownings. In just 3 days, the county saw nearly 350 EMS calls for heat-related illnesses. That's more than the past 2 years combined. Your ride on public transit might be a little more crowded starting today. With pandemic restrictions lifted, most Seattle metro area public transportation agencies are opening up seats and dropping social distancing. Ferries will also be back to full boats today, and you'll be able to get out of your car and enjoy the view from the passenger deck. Sound Transit Light Rail and King County Metro buses resume full capacity Saturday. And there's a memorial today for Seattle police officer Lexi Harris, who was killed earlier this month by another driver when she stopped to assist with a wreck on I-5. Police and fire agencies from around the state will join a procession that starts this morning in Burien and ends at T-Mobile Park. The memorial is open to the public and starts at 1 p.m.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was a crowd of people at Union Bar in Seattle, counting down to midnight when the state officially reopened. And reopening means there's plenty to celebrate if you've been itching to get out and about. Bars, concert venues, and gyms can open at full capacity. No masks required, as long as you're vaccinated. Judith Malmgren is here to help us reflect on this moment and answer the question I still have, which is, when is the pandemic really over? She's an epidemiologist at the University of Washington. Judith, always good to talk to you.
Well, it's delightful to hear your voice and someday see you in person.
Right? I can't wait. So we are open again, and we're telling ourselves a pretty good story about where we're at in the pandemic. Are the case and vaccine numbers revealing the same story we're telling ourselves right now?
Yes, in some parts of King County they are. Vashon Island is lovely. They're at 90% vaccination rate, and I think they've been a month without a case.
Wow.
Vashon, way to go.
Okay, there are other parts of King County, though, it sounds like, that are more concerning to you?
Yes, there are. South King County, we still have a couple areas with lesser vaccination rate, higher rates of transmission of COVID, although there has been a lot of progress made in that regard in South King County, which is great. But the vaccination rates are directly correlated with the number of COVID infections. So if anybody had any doubts about COVID vaccine working, you look at these maps and you can see highly vaccinated, no cases, not so much vaccinated, we still have cases.
Yeah. Now, 46 states, Judith, have reopened before Washington. We were one of the first to close and one of the last to reopen. Did we really need to wait this long? Is now really the right time?
Yes, I think now is the right time. We need to save the economy, and we need to save our sanity, because everybody's going a little bit nuts. I think we have really done a great job in vaccinating for death and disease by vaccinating older adults, and they're pretty safe if they're out and about. They're probably not, 80-year-olds probably aren't going to hang out at Fremont Brewery, or even if they are exposed, I think they're going to be okay. So we've done a good job in that regard. We're making great progress in vaccinating younger adults, 20 to 34, and 12 to 18-year-olds. That's going up really rapidly, and that makes me really happy.
Okay, that's good. There are still a lot of people in Seattle and the country that aren't vaccinated yet. And the cases in those people, if they are contracting COVID, are very serious.
Yes. We've got increased virulence in the COVID strains that we have going around now. Delta is pretty dangerous, especially for younger adults. It's not going to be pretty. I think getting vaccinated ahead of the coming of Delta variant is a really good idea. If you know people that aren't vaccinated, if you can help them figure out how to get vaccinated or talk to them about any hesitancy they might have to get vaccinated, it's going to do us a big service to vaccinate ahead of that coming, because it will come. It has moved so rapidly through the UK and through Israel, and our borders aren't closed, so that's going to move pretty quickly once it hits here as well.
I want to know how you're talking to people about this who aren't vaccinated in your life, because we all know people at this point who are not vaccinated.
So I have a friend who works with the public in his volunteer work and then sort of with the public in his regular work, but he's real busy. He has 3 kids. He's married. He doesn't have a lot of free time. So how can we figure out time when he can get vaccinated? So I suggest Friday, 5 o'clock, go to Bartell's, get a coupon, get $10, and get vaccinated at Bartell's, and then buy a chocolate bar.
With your $10 coupon?
Yeah, with your coupon, you can buy $10 worth of chocolate bars because they've got rows of them. And then, go home. You don't have to get up early the next day. And if you got a headache or a little fever or something like that, you'd have that covered on your Saturday.
I have to admit, if I was a friend of Judith Malmgren's and you started coming at me with the science, I would have a hard time turning you down. How did your friend respond to this?
I didn't go after him with the science. I try and listen to what people have to say about their perspective, not mine. Because if I could, I'd just, get everybody vaccinated. I'd probably just have like the ice cream vendors that go down the street and have the nice music. I'd have that going and then have people come out of their houses and get everybody vaccinated and get an ice cream bar. But I can't do that because I don't run the universe.
There are definitely pockets that we still need to reach, and the nuances of those pockets are not always as obvious as we think they are. I am curious, though, Judith, after everything we've been talking about, Washington State is 100% open. How open is Judith Malmgren?
Well, I went to the gym today. I showed my vaccine card, and I got a green band to wear at the gym. And the green band means I'm vaccinated, so everybody there knows I am. And we're still keeping 6 foot of distance. People can wear masks if they prefer. If you're not vaccinated, you do wear a mask. It took a lot of courage. I got to say, I had to really psych myself up to go do it. But I've always been a gym rat, go to the gym every day, and I'm glad that I did. I think it's, for me, as an epidemiologist, glass is always half empty. The world is a scary place. But I got to live in it, and I need to be around people and live my life again.
Well, Seattle has passed the 70% vaccination mark, and cases are going down. We are open again, right? Is it enough to say the pandemic is over, or are you waiting for something different to determine the ending of this thing?
If you're on Vashon Island, you're doing pretty good.
I'm sure everybody on Vashon Island is really excited about this right now.
I'm so proud of them. I really am. I'm just ecstatic that a little island like that just went ahead and got everybody vaccinated. And then so you can see real clearly that's when when it's over. 91% vaccination rate, 0 cases. That's when it's over.
Yeah.
When we're down to just a couple cases here and there, when we don't have any outbreaks, but overall, no, we're not over. It's great that we opened. I think that's important that we opened because we can't have any more businesses going out of business. And everybody can't stay home forever. But it's still going to be like a tentative soft opening, in my opinion. It could end up being kind of like polio, where polio, just lingered in the world. So Bill and Melinda Gates, I believe, the foundation has eliminated it from the planet.
Yes.
That only took since 1950, 55, something like that.
Okay, so I'll meet you back here in like 35 years?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that, Judith Malmgren. You know, right now, one thing we all know is pretty safe is going out and visiting friends and family outdoors. Have you been doing that? Have you been getting around and seeing people you haven't seen in a while?
Yes, I have. I've been making appointments to see friends. So make a date. I'm going to come over. We're going to visit. We're going to sit and chat. And I'm going to give you a church hug. That's what I call them, church hugs. Your face is kind of over to one side, and you give them a hug. It's a soft hug, not a hard hug. And just to reconnect after a year and a half of not seeing people is so terrific. And I recommend it highly because every time you reconnect with somebody that you forgot about or you forgot what a wonderful person they were, and then you see them and you feel their energy and their brain and their view, just hearing a different view of the world and how they've been doing, gosh, it's just like a rush of happiness.
It really is amazing. I know exactly what you're talking about. Judith Malmgren, UW epidemiologist, friend of the Seattle Now podcast. Thanks so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to Seattle Now. Remember when we mentioned you can find us on Instagram? Well, that's still true, but we have a slightly different name. Give us a follow at Seattle Now Pod. Promise, we won't change it again. Clare McGrane produced today's show. Our production team is Caroline Chamberlain Gomez, Diana Opong, and Jason Pagano. Matt Jorgensen does our theme music. I'm Patricia Murphy. See you tomorrow.